So I'm back to work for Dirt Perfect today. If you guys don't know, I work for Dirt Perfect part-time, and if you're not watching his channel, you should be. But we're running his Volvo articulated off-road truck, which he calls Bubba Dump. We're going to be cleaning out a ditch, and I'll show you that in a second, but we're going to be taking the dirt right over here to this stockpile. And the ditch we're talking about, spin around and zoom up or fly up a little bit, is this ditch that runs right down the middle of this field. And if you look way in the distance down there, you'll see his John Deere 120 ready and waiting for us. So let's get to work. It is worth pointing out, this is my first time running Bubba Dump. I did come down yesterday and he just kind of took it for a couple hot laps, and he went through the controls on everything, what to look out for, the do nots and all that stuff. But I think we'll be all right. It shouldn't be too crazy terrible for us. The time will certainly tell. Got my cold snacks, work appropriate cold snacks, of course. All right, defroster. I think that's fancy. If it works, it works. Anywho, parking brake, automatic transmission. Hopefully we don't have to use that button today, or that one. We got plenty of air pressure. Should be good to go. Throw her in drive. We'll head down to the 120. There's like 3 or 4 little ditch crossings, but it's not too terrible for us. We're just gonna kind of blindly park here to start out. Get the 120 up and going, and then we'll figure out where I want her. He was nice enough to walk this all the way down here for me yesterday. What a swell guy, huh? Oh yeah, it's got it. It's got it. Oh, she's got that too. She's looking good on all her floats. Let's see what she does for us. Cab's looking good. This is nice. Come on, man. I don't know if you spotted the piles when we came in, but that's all turkey manure. There's another pile there. They're spreading in. I don't know if you can see them over there. They're spreading in that field. It's just a lovely aroma. It's so good you can taste it. And it's actually getting ready to start planting right there. That's all the same farmer does all of this. Not Farmer Chris, different farmer. So Mike already started there a while ago, probably a few weeks ago. We're gonna be pretty wide here in the beginning. Probably for the first 100, 200 yards maybe, and then it'll narrow up quite a bit, but this is kind of wider down on this end, so whenever it rains real hard, it's got a place to reservoir here instead of backing up in the field. I'm a windows open kind of fella. There we go. What have we been doing? All right. Pretty close, but I need to be over just a little bit, so I got plenty of room to swing as we crawl up the ditch. We'll slide it over one. One tire width over really should be plenty. There's my tire mark. That looks good. Just a little slide over. Mike's tip was back it like you would back a trailer. Well, that's what we're doing. double check that, and then we'll probably just shut her down. One tire width over. Should give me enough room for swing. I think we'll try running that. If we need to move it, we'll move it. Morning glare certainly isn't helping my vision, but in case you can't tell, I'm using the water as a level. We're just going to dig that level all the way back, and then we're kind of just, you know, scraping her as we go. It's a farm ditch. We're not getting fancy. We're getting functional, bud. We're definitely making progress. Shaping up pretty nice for what we're working with. I asked if he cared if I lost anything in the field. He said nope, just heap it. Kind of hard to heap the water. Doesn't really like to stay in, but by golly, we're trying. Let's go get rid of this load. I do believe we lost about half of it on the way back. That's an exaggeration, but it'll be fine. Anyway, he said just cram it up in there and keep dumping it and cram it back in that woods. I said, you worried about trees? He said, nah. Mike did say to keep an eye on the tire pressure on those rear tires. And I did not check this morning because they looked okay, but I am going to go ahead and check right now. It'll take me just a couple minutes. It'll save me a whole lot of time. Or it could cost me time. Oh, come on. Really? We're gonna start leaking? There we go. Okay. All right. That one's good. Good. Whoops. Good. Good. All right. Everything's looking good. Let's keep going. Look at the size of this crawfish. We're digging through a lot of crawfish holes. Poor feller. Probably ruined his home and everything. Hang on, that's a full-on lobster. That's a full-on lobster right there. There you go, little buddy. Oh, sorry. Upside down and everything. You'll get it. You got it? You got it. So we're working our way down through here. It's looking pretty good. I've got to wait until Mother Nature helps me out a little bit on this top windrow. There's a plan, but I'll show you what I'm fighting though. Whenever it's slimy like this, it doesn't want to go in the bucket. You pull a scoop and it just pushes that slime out around the cutting edge. So I'm just getting as much as I can and working it as close up to me as I can. And then My plan is to just work down this side, one pass working backwards, and it'll be dried out enough I can just clean that top windrow up and we'll be done with it. I wish I had about 10 more foot of stick and a 6 foot wide bucket. Hashtag spoiler alert. Okay. Yeah, just push it out around the edge of that bucket. You can't really pile it up. It is what it is. Finally got the system now. It's working best for me. I finally found the spacing that works best for me with that truck and that machine, and we're moving along pretty good now. I'm gonna set you somewhere. Hey, well, I can put you up there. Ground is starting to get a little softer in this section of the field, so I'm sure that'll be fun. buddy. So from this point, the rest of the way down, it's narrow enough that I can sit in one spot and do the whole thing in one motion. I went ahead and moved the machine down there so we can start getting that cleaned up how I want on the second pass. We'll back that rig down there and I'll show you what I got going on. For that section, I don't have enough boom length to reach the other side like I was talking about. So now, scoot back about a machine's width over, my gosh. Oops. And I can reach that, use the flat bottom of this bucket, which is the way to go. Flat bottom buckets make the world go round, without a doubt. Pull right up through that sloppy windrow, scoop it up, throw it in the truck. And that'll make a little bit, well, I'll show you when I'm done. I'll just show you. Easy peasy, man. It blends that top in really nice. The whole thing just looks good overall, in my opinion. And that flat bottom bucket, I mean, it really makes the difference. It lets you just run right along it. Just like that, huh? Now that's a good looking farm ditch, I tell you what. And if a fella wants, you can always, you can do this if you want. But I don't think I care that crazy much, I don't know if I'm gonna put that much effort into it. Oh gosh. Oh, buddy. Yeah, that guy was good on that one. All right, and then we'll roll her back out if it's not enough. Just run it again. All right, about 5 o'clock. Must be a snake in there somewhere. And I go head to the house. We definitely moved some mud today, but I do think there might be an underestimation or overestimation, depending on how you look at it, and how long or how much material has to be moved out of that ditch. It's definitely longer than I expected. We'll see how much we can get done in the morning. And it's the morning. Crazy how that works. Checked all the fluids, everything looks good in here. We're gonna get her fired up. I got a habit of taking the key out because I'm always afraid I'm gonna leave it on and it's gonna die on me. Nice. Alright, so let's fly down here and see where we're at and where we have to go. You can see there's a few little whoop-de-doos we're gonna have to straighten out down along the way. But I'd be optimistic if we even got to that point. Down on this end, I'm tapering that ditch up into the field, just kind of making it a transition. So now, if they would like to, I wouldn't do it with any tires, but if they want to reach out a couple extra rows with the planter, they can do it. Well, we got quite a bit of work ahead of us yet. Let's get to it. I do have one tire that's a touch low this morning. He did say that it doesn't work anymore. daggone handy. Nope. Nope. There we go. Alright, we're going to try to shove a little grease in this thing this morning. She was kind of starting her own jazz band yesterday, and I forgot my nice grease gun. I was like, well, I'll run back to the house and get it. But then I remembered I had this old $20 thing I bought whenever I went up to get the boat for the trade-up challenge. I was like, well, if it gets me through this morning, then it was worth the $20. Awesome. We'll run that boom in and out a few times, and we'll give her a few more pumps of grease. $20 grease gun, saving the day. I'll take it. There, Mike can't ever say I didn't give him anything. So you can see how the ditch kind of jumps and does this number there. I'm trying to get it on that side. I'm going to start on the uphill side and just kind of pull it this way to get the water along there, and then we'll just have to shape it. We're just going to have to do the mud smear again. Things I do for you guys. Oh no, nope, nope, that's quicksand, that's quicksand. I'd like to put the camera over there somewhere, you know, but she's, I think we can jump it. Oh, more solid than I expected. here's your before. There's the after. Haven't had the truck a whole lot out, still sitting on the first load. Able to just take that in, work it in, looks really nice. And then on this side, all we gotta do is just swab it out. And since there's kind of a low spot right there, right into it, gets the back of the bucket treatment, moving on down the line. They don't call me Mike the Mad Mud Magician for nothing. Well, nobody calls me that, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Progress update. And I do have one load on there. Let's get rid of it. He said Kramer in the woods. So we're gonna Kramer in the woods. So I don't know how well you can see it. That ditch comes down and then it steps over a little bit, has a little curve, and then it's coming back over like so. And then it jumps back over and runs down, and then, you know, there's a couple little curves through there. What I would like to do, which is a lot of dirt, but what I would like to do is where it jumps over right here, I'd like to straighten that out. I'd like to pull that over there. So here is your before. You can see it's got a pretty big, oh, whatever you want to call her, a dog leg. Maybe not. Weird looking dog. But she's got a whoop-de-doo for sure, and we're going to try to straighten that part of it out the best we can with what we're running. In, get everything on this reach in one pass, and then we'll scoot over machines with, and most of this windrow you see will get trucked out. But we're getting pretty thick in material right here, so we're going to go ahead and start loading that out. I gotta throw some in because right where that bend is, that water, we're going to be sitting in that in just a minute. Hopefully not sinking too bad. Some really good dirt too. Really good dirt. Oh my gosh, we can get full buckets now. Amazing. Fantastic. Well, we can kind of get full buckets. There's half a bucket stuck in there. All right. Just about ready to make that tie-in. Should come in right underneath that tile. The dirt is finally good. We're able to get full buckets. We're able to load the truck. Now the truck should be loaded. That is going to drain a huge section of that. I think Mike said there's like 6 of those tiles, and that's one of the problems with these silting in and backing up is it backs the tiles up as well. My goal for the rest of the day is now to get that tapered back into the field and all of that trucked off. I got an hour and a half to do it in. We'll see what happens. Done on this job. I think that turned out awesome. I think that turned out pretty good. The good news is from here on out, minus that one little hoop to do right there, it's just scoop town, man. From here on out, it's just scoop town. Steep on both sides, just like this. The field starts gaining enough elevation that it doesn't make sense to try and transition it into the field like that. Ended up with 6 loads hauling out of there in that hour and a half. Not too bad considering the size of the equipment we're loading with and the size of that bucket. That is a nice bucket as far as that smooth face goes, but it just doesn't have a huge capacity. You can see I'm talking about with the rest of this ditch. It's pretty narrow the rest of the way. It's also pretty deep. There's a few little goats in the grass along the way, but it's not terribly too bad. And before you make the comment that that ditch is holding water, it's not a very good ditch. Keep the left side or upper left side of your screen there, you'll notice that we don't have a whole lot of fall before it gets to the big ditch. Most of the ditches down the river bottoms will hold water like that. Really didn't shape out too terrible though. Again, the whole reason I felt like doing it on this side, taking the time to make that transition into the field, since the field's lower on this side, one, didn't take a terrible amount of work, and two, although I wouldn't do it with a tractor just yet, I think a fella could hang a planter off that edge and grab a few extra rows this year if they wanted. I'm not 100% sure who's going to end up finishing this ditch out, if it's going to be myself or if it's going to be Dirt Perfect, using that new tool he's dragging home from Canada right now. Either way, I know we got awesome content coming up on the channel. We got some firewood processor coming up with CNC equipment. We've got that free boat we drug home for the trade-up challenge to start working on as well. And definitely some more backhoe videos. Definitely appreciate you guys watching. Oh, that's not a good sound. And I'll catch you on the next one. It's fine. We're almost home.